this episode, we are on the lookout for a reliable car priced around 60,000 Rand.
We embark on a quest to find a vehicle with sufficient ground clearance.
And we compare older and newer Ford Ranger bakkie models.
Hello and welcome to Buyer's Guide. Every week we try and provide you with useful advice, whether it relates to buying, selling, or maintaining a vehicle. If you have a question for the team, you can send an email to buyersguide@ignitiontv.co.za and contain, please, as much information as possible, as well as a nice picture of yourself.
And joining us in studio to help resolve those troubling automotive issues are Khaya Finger from Car Chic and Pogiso De Bakwane from Pogiso Electronics. Welcome, guys. Nice to have you back in studio with us.
Thank you.
All right, let's get to our first question, which comes from 50-year-old male Thabo. He's looking for a cheap and reliable car around 60,000 Rand that can handle 45-kilometer trips per day for at least the next, wait for it, 5 years. The car must be strictly manual with electric mirrors and windows. He is considering vehicles from VW, Toyota, Suzuki, Mazda, Kia, Hyundai, and Honda. Thabo is also image conscious and seeks a car that doesn't reflect financial struggles despite the budget. Okay, guys, should we just move on to the next question, or you want to give this a shot? Hey, Pogiso.
Well, look, Thabo's struggles are real, eh? Because if you think about it...
You said that again, eh? You said that.
Think about it. I mean, I know of people who spend 60,000 at Visnons on a weekend. Here, he's asking for electrical windows, and he's asking for a car that will sustain for 5 years. He's in more the Opel Corsa and the 1.4 Chico range. Because where are you going to find a car that will sustain this kind of demand in terms of mileage and the price? The price is too low. Well, look, you can find a BMW for 60,000. It's going to be an E46 or E90, but it's going to have high mileage. It won't be...
It'll also be missing a few things.
Exactly. It won't be able to
like
hold
the left front seat.
The problem is 60,000 Rand nowadays, unfortunately, doesn't buy you a lot of cars. Look, you can find a couple of cars in this sort of segment. I mean, you mentioned a couple.
Yeah.
But I mean, things like first generation Ford Fiesta, and the Ford Figos.
Yeah.
But you're going to get something with very high mileage. Opel Corsa is another one you're going to find in there. You know, I mean, I've seen Toyota Taz's and City Golfs, like you mentioned, in that sort of price range. So it's very, very difficult to find something that is reasonable for 60,000 Rand.
I think for 60 with the Opel you mentioned and also the Chico, that's the cheapest cars that he'll be able to maintain and sustain for the
And I just want to
wants.
point something out here. Adam mentioned Toyota Taz.
Yeah.
Toyota Taz's start at 70 grand these days.
Yeah.
Even though the guy who's selling it, paid 20 grand when he bought it.
And don't forget, he wants the electric mirrors as well.
And
So
we're not
once
gonna
you
get
find,
that
that's what I'm thinking. Hold on, once you find that, hold on, electric mirrors. So
Yeah.
I think he's been a little bit unrealistic. He's looking for a unicorn. However, just my advice when it comes to cars like this, a lot of the times you find family and friends who are selling their older car that's in the family. Ask around.
Yeah.
But you want to buy from a family and friends when you're in this price range, not a dealership.
No.
You
Well,
want to
you won't
buy.
find a car like this at a
You
dealership.
won't find a car like
Yeah.
that. That's the truth. You
'Cause
won't find it's a unicorn. So
You're going to buy that 20,000 Rand car the dealer paid for. You're going to pay 60 grand for.
100%.
Actually, at the dealer, you're going to buy a Trojan horse.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't know what's inside, eh?
Unicorns in the name. Yeah. So I agree with him. So yeah, Thabo, unfortunately, you're going to struggle.
And he wants a car
Image.
that has image. Unfortunately, I mean,
You find an older Kia Picanto or a
Kia Picanto.
Grand 10.
If you can get something from Honda, Mazda, or Toyota, those are the sort of three brands that when you buy a vehicle, if it's done 200,000 Ks,
You're good.
you're going to get a little bit of life in it. But as for buying something, like you mentioned, like an E46 BM or something like that, don't, because you're just going to buy trouble. If you're struggling to put more than 60,000 Rand together for a car, you ain't got money for expensive maintenance.
Hence I said, City Golf, use the change to buy rims. He'll be a 50 cool old man.
Yeah. Okay. So, have a look around, talk to people, but you're going to have to take your time and try and find something Japanese, because those are the ones that last. And there's simple technology. That means your buddy can fix it in his garage around the corner. Okay. Our next question is from Santo, a 39-year-old first-time buyer and driver. She's searching for the most reliable, fuel-efficient and easy-to-maintain car with a budget of 250,000 Rand. With a deposit of 5,000 Rand to lower the installment, she's looking for a pre-owned vehicle with less than 50,000 kilometers on it. The options being Suzuki Vitara Brezza, Toyota Urban Cruiser, Honda BRV, and a Honda CRV. And she wants the car in automatic. Chaya?
So I'm very impressed as a first-time buyer with her choices. They're all great choices. So she's done her homework, I can see. I personally, you know which one I'm going to choose? The Suzuki Brezza, because I'm a Suzuki girl. But it's very much like the Toyota Urban Cruiser. As I said, they're all great choices. Sometimes on the right page. So really go drive each car, see what you find. Obviously lower mileage within your budget. I think she's looking in the right place though.
Yeah.
Quite impressed.
You know, and she wants the car to be automatic. And that's an important point with the first-time driver. I think, you know, it's easier for you to drive and when you're doing the dodgems things and all that.
Well, nowadays with the traffic, you want an automatic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So what would you suggest?
I would go for the Toyota Urban Cruiser. I think the other brands, in terms of maintenance and dealer network, especially the Honda, Honda does not have a good dealer network. So for
Plus the cars are expensive, so to find something in this range.
in this range is expensive. Yeah. So the Urban Cruiser, the Toyota Urban Cruiser is my choice. The 1.5 efficient. It's very efficient.
Well, I think, you know, I would look at it, 250,000 Rand. Just go to a Suzuki dealer, buy a brand new Suzuki Baleno. You don't have to have a big SUV, and the Baleno is a nice size. You get it brand new out of the box. It's going to come with a service plan. It's going to come with a warranty. So basically for the next 3 years, because I think it's got a 3-year, 60,000, if I remember correctly, service plan with it.
Yes, correct.
So you're going to buy the car for 250,000 Rand. You're going to get the next 3 years, you're not going to spend a penny on it. Nothing. Because it's all
Unless
under
you hit
guarantee.
the potholes and have to replace tires.
See,
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from. My only thing is when someone's looking for a compact SUV, I'm telling you now they're looking for a compact SUV. They don't want to go into a hatchback or anything like that.
I get
They're
what
quite
you're saying,
stuck on the shape.
but if you want an SUV, as Chaya says, you're looking at two really good ones, the Toyota Urban Cruiser and the Suzuki
Suzuki Vitara.
Brezza. It's the same car.
Yeah, but you know, coming back to Chaya,
Yeah.
you know, the Sorento wants some good advice. So I think your advice that you're giving her to look at the Brezza is great advice, because being a first-time buyer, being a first-time buyer, and she's, I would be loath to take a big SUV like a Suzuki Vitara or the Urban Cruiser and give it to a youngster, or not even a youngster, but someone in first-time
She
driver.
says she's a first-time driver.
And bumping it all over and
It's
all that.
better to
can
drive,
become
I think, a
problem, you know.
Baleno than a
driving a
SUV.
Baleno is a smaller vehicle.
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea. She
I'm
needs
still
to
set on the Brezza.
Yeah, you sit on the Urban Cruiser.
I'm convinced the Urban Cruiser is the cheapest of them all to maintain, even after your warranty and maintenance plan has gone.
But as Chaya said, you're on the right track, girl. You know what you want. So you go, take our advice, don't. But you're looking at good cars. You go and drive, and I think it's those two, the Urban Cruiser or the Suzuki. They're both, it's the same car.
The same car with different badges. Yeah.
So both great cars, but take my advice.
Yeah, take his advice. Stay tuned, because after the break we embark on a quest to find a vehicle with sufficient ground clearance.
And compact SUVs from Audi and VW come into the spotlight. Welcome back to Buyer's Guide. Peter owns a 2006 BMW 330d in fantastic, excellent condition. Peter would like to sell the BMW and get more practical vehicle to travel to remote places like Namibia and the Northern Cape. The BMW, with its low ground clearance and low profile tyres, and of course don't have a spare, has become a concern. With a budget of 700,000 Rand, he's considering vehicles from Volvo, Nissan, Subaru, Mitsubishi. So, which one would be the best vehicle to buy? So Pochis is obviously looking for something. He's got a nice budget, 700,000, and he wants something with a bit more ground clearance, and he can go and camp in the bush somewhere.
And he's getting rid of a nice car.
Oh look, sell the BMW private, get 80,000, put in as a deposit for the Pajero Sport or the Toyota Fortuner.
Yeah.
Those are cars that you would take these trails that he's mentioning.
He
very
already
easy.
owns a Pajero, though.
It's too old. It won't make it to Namibia.
Please.
And back.
Pajero, any age Pajero will make it anyway.
If you get stuck in Namibia, he can phone you.
Limited dealer, the Pajero.
That, you know why it's limited? They don't need a dealership to repair. They
But-
keeps running.
Look, I'm still taking the new Pajero on these trails that he's mentioning, and I'll take also the Toyota Fortuner with the budget. I mean, he's prepared to spend over 700,000.
That's a good budget.
That's a good budget.
Yeah.
The value for money, these are the two vehicles that you should go for.
Khaya?
So I agree with you. I would stay away from a Subaru as well. He mentioned Subaru dealer
Yeah.
network. So very important to consider when you buy a car and you're traveling, what's the dealer network like? A lot of people, you know, that's an oversight. Also, what I've seen is also parts availability seems to be such a huge oversight when someone's buying a car.
Yeah.
Guys, understand that if you're in a car accident and there's no parts in the country, insurance is not going to care after a month.
Forget that. I mean, what happens if you need, I mean, we had a vehicle, Subaru, in my workshop the other day where Subaru South Africa did not have rear brake discs for it.
Yeah.
And that was a Forester, the most popular one.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the country, 21 days to wait for it.
Okay.
So that is a concern. The other thing he was looking at, XC60 or XC90, those are also really good cars if you're running around town. But what I would look at here, he's got an older Pajero, and he's got this BMW, and he wants a vehicle that he can use every day, and he wants a vehicle that he can go off-roading. So because the Pajero is now 10 years old, what I would suggest is take the Pajero and your BMW 3 Series. Trade them both in and go and buy us, because you can get a bit extra money for your Mitsubishi, so it pushes your budget up. Go and buy yourself a brand new Mitsubishi Pajero Sport.
Yeah.
Because it comes with all the modern features inside of it. You can drive it on a day-to-day basis. You can park it wherever because it's not going to get stolen. And if you want to go on those trips, you've got a vehicle that does everything. Plus, you don't have to pay maintenance on your Pajero now, the older Pajero. You don't have to pay insurance on it. So actually, you're going to be saving yourself a lot of money, and you'll have an extra parking spot in your garage.
Okay, Peter, what he said.
And it has the space that he's looking for the
Yes.
cooler box.
But as Peter's wife drives the BM, I wouldn't be so happy if my husband was getting rid of my car to buy one car for us.
But you know what? Every time she's getting stuck on the roads because she's taken out 2 tires, you
I'm
think
just
he's
saying,
going to be happy.
Thanks
You think
for your
Peter's
advice.
gonna be
Well,
happy?
Peter's wife is now carless.
No,
Well-
she's not.
They're selling both. She's driving the BM.
Well, if your wife's driving the BM and you want to sell that and you want to get her another car, then you go and buy an XC60 and keep your Pajero and use that for everyday running around in.
Yeah, he does say we'll keep the Pajero for off-road trips.
Yeah,
he does say
I
that.
beg your pardon, I mean for off-road trips. And then the XC60 is a fantastic car. And for 700,000 Rand budget, you'll get yourself something
Just ask
really,
Adam,
really nice.
how many you have?
No, my wife drives the XC60. That's why I know.
It's a very nice car, but I'm afraid of where it's going to go. It's a bit of a problem for me because he's making trips to Namibia.
But he's got his Pajero for that. He can take his Pajero for that.
And he's living in and you know the XC60 will handle a little bit of off-roading.
a little bit.
Little bit,
But
yeah.
you
little
don't want to
bit.
take it off-road because of the tyre problems. You know,
Yeah.
you've got low-profile tyres on them. And if you have an issue out of the country, there's a problem.
You know, I agree with you, Pokis. You should get another Pajero. Then you won't have
No
any
problems.
car problems
For the
ever.
next 20
Pajero
years.
Next
Sport.
30 years.
Well, I wish it was that good, but you know,
It's
you
better than that.
minimize
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It is
yeah.
a great car.
It is a great car. Right, our next question is from Dhiren, who recently got a job at a dealership. He wants help in deciding which car to buy. He commutes 10 kilometers on weekdays and an average of 100 kilometers on weekends. He has a budget of between 750 to 800,000 Rand with the following cars in mind. Audi Q2 S-Line Black Edition, Audi A3 S-Line Sedan, and the VW Tiguan Life. Which would be the best buy for him? Khaya?
Hang on, before you go, did you say he just got a job at a dealership?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So my concern is, I hope it's not anything sales related because you're asking us and you're in a dealership and clearly it's an Audi VW
He's the
dealership.
accountant.
Yeah, that makes me feel more comfortable.
He's,
So-
he's the accountant.
Yeah.
With the budget that he has,
He's right. He's
The budget he has.
He's the numbers guy. Yeah, definitely not sales.
CFO.
So what would you,
So,
what's your advice?
so once again, what do you want? A compact SUV? Do you want a sedan, or do you want, or a hatchback? Because what are you looking for? Because if you want a compact SUV Q2, if you want a sedan A3, do you know what I mean? If you want a SUV Tiguan, so there's your answer.
There we go.
I think
Well, he's
he's
a-
throwing a mix of everything that he
Around the 800,000
He
Rand.
went up,
He went into
Well,
the,
the stock
numbers
list. He went
and
into
he
the
said 800, 800, 800. Right. These
Yeah,
three.
and a mix of small XUVs and compact. So I would go for the VW Tiguan Life. I think it's it has everything that all the other cars that he has mentioned have.
With the DSG gearbox.
With a DSG gearbox.
Ouch.
I mean, look, the mileage that he's doing a year is not that much. According to my calculations, he's not going to do much traveling with this vehicle. And because he's a numbers guy, he will probably trade it in 3 years.
And he works at the dealership, so he has an advantage.
Book value, he would know
I
when
just want to ask,
let go.
hopefully that dealership's got other cars besides Audi and VW, because there's better choices than those.
800,000 rand. But you see, I think that's why he mentioned dealership.
Yeah.
Because imagine him rocking up there with a Beamer or a Merc or a Porsche for that matter.
That's not good
All
for the
of-
brand.
Yes.
You know, all of those cars are fantastic, and if you're going to buy any of these cars, they're all going to be in warranty. You know, we're not talking about a car that's going to be bought out of warranty. So you buy whatever suits you, because they're all basically the same thing. It's all the same mechanically and stuff like that. As Chai says, one's a sedan, one's an SUV. So you decide, do you need an SUV or do you need a sedan? And you go according to that. And then make sure you got a good warranty with them, and then sell it before the warranty expires.
He'll probably sell himself a warranty.
Yeah,
he's
he
the
sells himself a
CFO,
warranty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably the dealership, the dealer principal.
Dealer principal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
No, then the dealer principal will know.
He should know his product line.
Well, look, he could be buying this for the wife at home, you know? Or the dealer is not making so much money, they have to cut budget for him using the company cars.
So there we go. You can take any of those cars. They're
all
good
okay, yeah.
under their warranty. Okay, we're going to take a short break, but when we get back, we compare older and newer Ford Ranger bakkie models.
And we go in search for an alternative to expensive transmission fluid. Hello and thank you for tuning in to Buyer's Guide. Rogers owns a fully paid up, fully serviced, trouble-free 2015 Ford Ranger 3.2 XLT with 147,000 kilometers on the clock. He plans to retire in about 2 years and is contemplating whether to keep the bakkie or trade it in for the new generation Ranger. He seeks advice on what problems he might expect and whether he should keep the bakkie or consider upgrading. Oh boy. Go, Kaya.
Well, how much time do we have? I mean, it's trouble-free today, but they're notorious for issues, injectors, turbo. Has he used it for towing? I don't know. Does he say it's a manual or auto? My suggestion is it's time to let go of this car.
Look, if you want to buy the new generation is fantastic compared to the previous bakkie.
No problems with the new generation.
In terms of ride comfort, in terms of technology in it, it's, to me, the Ranger's most probably one of the nicest bakkies to drive
But
nowadays.
it's just come out, Adam. We have no...
No, I'm talking about to drive. He's asking how I could, in terms of future problems, Pogiso.
He drove in one today, so
I saw it downstairs. Yeah.
let the man speak for the car. Well, look, I think it's time to let go because the problems that I have seen in these vehicles, you're going to start experiencing some overhead cam issues, and also an oil pump issue.
Yes.
So with this, he's retiring. I would say let it go. It's going to cost you more. So
Yeah, look, what I like about your bakkie now is that it's on relatively low mileage. Let's call it 150,000 kilometers. It's not high for a bakkie because bakkies get used generally.
yeah,
So you will get a really good deal on it, especially if you trade it in on a new generation Ranger. You will, if you get into the new generation, you'll be very happy in terms of the comfort of the vehicle, the drivability of the vehicle, the whole package is a big improvement on the previous one. And the previous one was most probably also, in its era, was just as good. In terms of reliability, we do hear stories of unreliability.
Proven
on the previous gen.
otherwise.
But if you maintain the vehicle properly and look after it, they can easily do. I've got clients with 500,000 Ks on them, and they go well. But they do like their regular maintenance.
Is that how you built your new house in Kailani?
No, I built a house down the coast from BMW and Audis.
And Ford Ranger bakkies.
But the Ranger bakkie, I think, is good. But the new one is just a massive improvement. Now, if you're going to retire in 2 years, if you go now, so you'll get a good deal for your bakkie because of the fairly low mileage. There's a big demand for them. You trade it in on one of the new ones. Now you've got, for the next, what is the warranty on them? 5 years?
5 years, yeah.
5 years warranty. And service plan if you want to, because now you actually have to buy that service plan extra.
Yeah.
It's a cost extra option on the Fords. So go and have a look at the new Ranger and see if it's worth your while to spend. You know, what are they, 800,000 plus for a decent double cab. So that's the only restriction, is the
Price.
cost involved.
Yeah.
But also with your bakkie, sometimes maybe it's worthwhile to try and sell it yourself privately, because the dealer says to you, okay, we'll give you, let's use an example of say 300,000 for it. But if you sold it privately, you could maybe get 350,000. I like the new Ranger. I think it's a fantastic bakkie. It's comfortable. It's got all the technology
When
in
can
it.
I borrow it?
Sorry?
When can I borrow it?
When can you borrow
You
it?
know what?
Anytime you like.
If he wants a bakkie, really, he should go buy himself a Hilux. I know theft risk and all that, but man, you want a proper, long-standing, reliable bakkie that won't leave you on the side of the road? Go buy yourself a Hilux.
I hear you, but
You will
I
be
wanna
left on
sleep-
the side of
Yeah,
the road.
Exactly. I
You
wanna
will
sleep
be left
peacefully.
on the side.
Oh, guys, that's a bad. You see, you're quick to point that out, but when I point out stuff on the fix or repair daily, you've got a.
I can't argue with it. But he's a Ford man. Go buy the new one. The new one's really good. Okay, we ran out of time, and unfortunately, we're going to end off with a question from Stephen, who owns a 2013 Kia Sorento, which done just over 200,000 Ks. He recently took the vehicle for service, and he asked them to replace the transmission fluid. Good on you. They quoted him 10,800 Rand for the job.
Bad on
And
them.
that the transmission fluid costs 1,400 Rand per litre, and they would require 6 litres. Is this correct? No. If that is indeed the price of the fluid, is there a more affordable alternative? And he would also like to know what mileage is recommended to replace the timing chain, as the same workshop told him that he will hear when the timing chain is about to break or when the gears are worn.
He should find another workshop.
Well, in terms of the oil, let's just go back to it.
Yeah.
So in terms of the oil for those Kia Sorentos, you're looking at about, in the region of about 350 Rand a litre of oil. So if you're going to buy from Kia, maybe, I don't know what Kia's price is, but there are many alternatives for that gearbox.
And just as good oil.
Better.
Better.
Even better.
Even better. Don't let the dealers scare you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you don't put our oil in. Oh.
So you should be looking around about 1,500 to 2,000 Rand for the oil change in that vehicle. Okay, so obviously here you shouldn't be paying 10,800 Rand. You should be paying maybe no more than 3,000 Rand with the labor and everything.
Yeah, and the rest you can throw a party for us for.
Yeah. And send me the check. My bank account details are on the screen. Just beep, there. Subscribe there. So that's the one thing. In terms of the timing chain, what they told you, you will hear a noise. That is quite correct. So when you start the car in the morning, you'll hear a rattling noise.
And you
But
go.
the Kias are, these particular ones are fairly strong when it comes to the timing chains on them. So I wouldn't panic too much about that. Pochisa, I'm rambling on. Have you got something to add?
Oh, look, what they're charging him, obviously, it's overpriced. You can get this ATF6 at Midas or
Any
Artiso,
spare shop.
Any spare shop. It's very
Quality
cheap.
oil.
Quality oil. You can get a Castrol for this vehicle. It should
And
be fine.
serviced regularly. That chain should last the lifetime of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chaya?
What is it, love?
So I'm surprised. I want to know where he's taking this car for this sort of advice. 2013, is he still going to the dealership? He doesn't have to go to the dealership. The car's out of warranty, out of maintenance, out of service plan. I know good mechanics that would be able to do this for 3 grand. So
Yeah.
I think, often when it comes to cars, people get stuck with going to the same place, the dealership, and they're scared to venture out, ask the questions. You are asking the questions, so you know that something's not so kosher.
Yes.
So definitely do your homework, find a mechanic. They can do it for less.
Now, how do you find a mechanic? This is a question we get asked often.
I know.
Ask
You
your,
know a few,
ask
we
your
know a
family
few.
members.
But the best way to
Yeah.
go about it is speak to
Friends, family, where
work
you have your
colleagues.
car serviced.
Where do you get it serviced? Who looks after your car for you? Can you recommend that place? Would you recommend that workshop to me? If they say yes, then when you go there, you say,
So-and-so recommended.
so-and-so recommended me. Because then it's like, oh, we better make sure the vehicle is right, because otherwise we lose 2 customers, not 1.
Yes.
So that's the way to go.
That shouldn't be the reasoning, though. You should just treat the client well all the time.
It's
Never
not
mind.
an ideal world. So come on.
This is the motor trade. Please.
And with that, we've come to the end of this week's show. Thank you, Chaya and Pohiso, for joining us and all your insightful advice. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Fun having you here today. Until next time, please buckle up and please drive properly on the roads. Respect your other road users.